Believe it or not, I have a cutting-edge vocabulary lesson for you to help you improve your English. So right now, I'm going to teach you some advanced C1 adjectives, and let's just begin with a word that I have already mentioned, cutting edge. And this just means very modern with all the newest features. And there are some common collocations with this adjective, really words you would think of when you hear very modern, like cutting edge technology, or a cutting edge design, or cutting edge research.
I was a young scientist working with a world-class team. Cutting edge research.
To attract the top heads, we'll need to make a recruitment film. Picture that showcases our cutting-edge technology.
When pronouncing this word, the stress is going to be on that first syllable, and that T, I am going to pronounce this as a flap T, which is very common when talking about the American accent because that T comes between two vowel sounds. So I'll say it as a flap T, which is going to sound more like a soft D, cutting. Cutting edge. And that DG combination in edge has that J sound. Cutting edge. And if you are someone who appreciates cutting edge vocabulary lessons, please subscribe, turn on notifications. That way I can become your teacher. My name is Wes. The channel is Interactive English. It's all about trying to help you reach your fluency goals. And throughout the lesson, I'm going to talk to you about the pronunciation of each adjective because I tried to choose words that were a little trickier to pronounce, like this next word, affluent. This means having a lot of money or owning a lot of things. And you could use this word to describe a person, but often I think you would use it to describe a group of people. Perhaps you're talking about an affluent neighborhood, or an affluent country, or an affluent family. And in order to demonstrate how this adjective is used in context, I have some news headlines for you. Savvy Travel to open new branch in affluent area. Addressing poverty in an affluent society. How can luxury travel companies attract affluent travelers on digital channels? When pronouncing this word, the stress is going to be on that first syllable, affluent. Now, that is the way you're going to find it in most English dictionaries. However, you may hear some people stress that second syllable, and in that case, that first syllable is then going to have that schwa sound, that sound, affluent. You may hear both of these, but I think more commonly people are going to stress that first syllable, affluent. Then there's the word competent. It means that you are able to do something well. And I imagine that you are a competent speaker of English. I like to think that I am a competent teacher. Now, with this adjective, you may also follow it with the preposition at. You are competent at something or competent at doing something. If I were to say, he is competent at his job. For pronunciation, the stress is on that first syllable, and the final syllable has that schwa sound, that sound. Competent. Say it with me. Competent. Competent. Excellent. Right now, I want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's lesson, which is ELSA Speak. This is a cutting-edge app to help you fine-tune your pronunciation so that you can become a competent speaker. And if you are unfamiliar with the app, let me show you how it works. You just download the app, create an account, and there is a lot that you can do. Practice daily lessons, improve pronunciation, study by topic. So let's say that we want to study by topic, and there are many different topics to choose from. Let's choose relationships. And as you can see, there are a lot of different lessons to help you practice and improve. But I think one of the coolest parts of the app is the ability to practice words and phrases that you want to learn. So let's say that I want to practice the sentence, this app is cutting edge. And then you can listen to the pronunciation.
This app is cutting edge.
And then practice saying it. This app is cutting edge. Now, let me show you what it looks like if I make a mistake and I mispronounce that adjective. This app is cutting edge. And as you can see, you get instant feedback, which then allows you to try and make adjustments. And right now, when you click on the link below and download the ELSA Speak app, you can get 7 days of the Pro membership for free. But you can use my discount to get 85% off a lifetime membership or 40% off a 1-year membership. So check out the links and discounts down in the description if you would like to improve your pronunciation. And before you know it, you'll sound just like a native speaker. Let's get back to our advanced C1 adjectives. And the next one that I have for you is day-to-day. So day-to-day means happening every day as a regular part of your life or job. And I think we all have day-to-day responsibilities. If I were to talk about my own day-to-day responsibilities, I take my little girl to school, I teach classes, I try my best to respond to as many comments as possible. So how about you? What are some of your day-to-day responsibilities? Write to me in the comments and I'll try to respond to you. When it comes to pronouncing this adjective, the only thing that I want to point out is the weak to. When unstressed, it's going to sound more like t with that schwa sound. The other thing that I would say is that T with the American accent. I told you I'm from the US. When it comes between two vowels, I'm going to pronounce it as a flat T. So it's going to sound more like a soft D. Day-to-day. The stress is on the words day. Day-to-day. Day-to-day. Just listen for it.
How does the schedule of an orthopedic surgeon compare to that of a fetal surgeon?
Well, it varies day to day.
Day-to-day administrative responsibilities are to reside with the deputy ops if they don't already.
Actually need written authorization from the Pentagon to be able to discuss the program with anybody who does not have day-to-day clearance.
Then we have an adjective that I think we all try to avoid, and that is monotonous. So if something is monotonous, it means not changing, and therefore it's pretty boring. And I think often you would use this word to talk about tasks that you have to do routinely, either at work or around the home. I could say typing numbers into a spreadsheet can be monotonous, or sweeping around the home may be monotonous. At least I think it is. When pronouncing this word, it can be a little challenging. It's a longer word, monotonous. The stress is on that second syllable, and the T, it's going to be a glottal T. This happens when you have the T followed by a vowel sound followed by the N sound. Words like mountain, kitten, monotonous. And really, it's just a glottal stop, and it's almost like you're just swallowing the sound. That's the best way I can describe that glottal stop. Monotonous. Say it with me. Monotonous. Monotonous. Excellent. Then there's the word alleged. This refers to something bad or illegal and is believed to be true, but not proved. And there are some common adjective-noun collocations with this word, perhaps talking about an alleged crime. And you can really talk about an alleged any criminal activity. You fill in the blank. Alleged thief, alleged drug dealer. He has been arrested for the alleged crime. So the stress is going to be on that second syllable. But you may hear some people add an extra syllable because of the ED, and they're going to say alleged, and then it becomes 3 syllables. And I think that may be more common in the US, but let's hear both. So you can hear the 2 syllables, alleged.
He is hereby absolved of all his alleged crimes.
Alleged, but not proven.
Since blackmailing's a felony, even when you do it to alleged drug dealers.
I'm an alleged killer.
And now you can hear the 3 syllables, alleged.
See if you can identify this alleged killer.
I've represented mobsters like this for years. Alleged mobsters.
Either one is okay. I just wanted you to be aware of this. The next adjective is fruitful. And this means producing good results. So it really has a positive connotation. Often I think this word describes an outcome that involves some sort of interaction. So I could say, my boss and I had a fruitful talk about my contract. Or there was a fruitful discussion at the meeting. Or how would you describe the negotiation? Fruitful. Okay, it's a positive word, positive connotation. It's good to learn these words. The pronunciation is pretty simple and straightforward. The stress is on that first syllable, and that T in fruit, it's a stop T. Fruitful, fruitful. Then we have the word conservative, and this means not usually liking or trusting change, especially sudden change. And really, this word is often associated with politics, so it can be emotionally charged. But I could say that people who are older tend to be more conservative. I recently tried to talk to my parents about cryptocurrency, and they really were not interested. They don't really trust it. So I could say in that case, they're definitely more conservative. Now that is a non-political example, but most of the time you'll hear this word relating to someone's politics, their conservative outlook, referring to the way they view social or economic changes. When pronouncing this word, the stress is on that second syllable, and the T, I'm going to pronounce it as a flat T. Conservative, conservative. Now, because we're talking about the word conservative, let's go to the other end of the spectrum and talk about the word liberal, which is also a C1 adjective. This means respecting and allowing many different types of beliefs or behavior. And I'll use the same example. I'll just replace the word older with younger. People who are younger tend to be more liberal. When pronouncing this word, the stress is on the first syllable, and you may say it with 3 syllables, liberal. However, because of elision, which is when sounds get removed, that schwa sound in the middle may elide. And now we're left with just 2 syllables, liberal. And I think often you will hear people pronounce this word with just 2 syllables, and they'll say liberal.
My mom says you're just going through a liberal phase. What? My mom says you're going through a conservative phase. There's no such thing. Conservatives only get more conservative.
Then we have the word idealistic. This means believing that very good things can be achieved, often when other people just do not think that it's likely. So this is a great adjective to describe a person. And once again, let me give you some context with some news headlines. What urban planners can learn from this idealistic coffee shop. Utopia isn't just idealistic fantasy, it inspires people to change the world. This is an opinion. Are young social activists too idealistic? And do some have an overly idealistic view of internationalism? For pronunciation, there are 5 syllables. The stress is on the second to last syllable, idealistic. Now, to give you a syllable stress rule, when a word ends with IC, the stress is going to come on the second to last syllable. Electronic, strategic, idealistic. Next is the adjective preliminary. This means coming before a more important action or event, especially introducing or preparing for it. So think about a courtroom. You have a hearing, which is a meeting that is related to the legal problem. And I could say, there's going to be a preliminary hearing. You could use this with other nouns as well. Here are some examples.
The preliminary hearing's set for next Friday.
We'll have to do some preliminary evaluations.
Preliminary investigation suggests that this was suicide.
Michael, my preliminary calculations indicate that 15 minutes are needed to break that code.
When you pronounce this word, the stress is on the second syllable, preliminary. But it's a longer word, so it can be a bit challenging. Let's break it down and say it together. Preliminary, preliminary, preliminary. Excellent. And then we have the word genuine. This refers to people or emotions that are honest and sincere. So this is another great adjective to talk about a person. Perhaps you make a mistake. You apologize. I accept your apology because you are a genuine person. And I like to think that I am a genuine person as well. But you don't always have to use this word to talk about people. Perhaps someone makes a genuine apology. And then the last thing I would say is that people may often use this with the negative, not, to talk about something that is not honest or not sincere. His apology was not genuine. When pronouncing this word, it has 3 syllables. The stress is on that first syllable. And just keep in mind that the I-N-E at the end of the word is pronounced in. Genuine. Genuine. So let's get a little review. I hope that you did not think the lesson was monotonous. And I hope you go on to watch another video lesson, because it really doesn't matter whether you are in the preliminary stages of building your vocabulary or if you are highly competent when it comes to using different words and phrases. It's good to learn new words, and it's good to review old ones. And I'm really being genuine when I say this, because building your vocabulary should be a part of your day-to-day routine, especially if you want to continue developing your English fluency. So if you enjoyed this cutting-edge vocabulary lesson and you found it fruitful and you learned something new, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. So long.